Hello, so today I'm going to be showing you how to geocode with ArcGIS.com. And just to know what geocoding is, basically taking an address and converting it to longitude latitude through a geolocator. And the geolocator we're going to use is ArcGIS.com. But first to start, you're going to have to make an Excel spreadsheet. And so whenever you're making an Excel spreadsheet for ArcGIS.com or for GIS in general, you're going to want to have things with the first line being the headers of the column. And so for here, I'm going to do name, address, and then like, for example, attributes 1, attribute 2, so forth, okay? And then the second line needs to start filling out the information that you want. For this demo, what I want to do is do historically black colleges and universities. And so I already have a sheet that I made here where you can see here I have name, address, some general information like the phone number, website, and the type, and then each one of these are going to have the name of the HBCU, the address it has, and then the phone numbers and so forth. And so what the geocoder is going to do is going to take this address, ask the geolocator where that is in the world, and then the geolocator is going to give you back a longitude latitude that you could put onto a map. The only way that these files can be uploaded to ArcGIS.com is through a comma separated value file. So you're not going to want this with an Excel spreadsheet. You're going to want this with a CSV. So whenever you start going to save it, you're going to have to do file save as, and then you go and save this as on your computer. And then you have to make sure that you choose a comma separated value file. You're not going to want to choose Excel workbook. You can save it as Excel workbook for your own stuff, but when it gets ready to get uploaded, when you're done with the work, you're going to have to save it as a CSV file. Once you save this CSV file, you'll be able to see what it actually looks like. It's going to save as a comma separated file, which is just a text file where it has, you see the name and then comma. Each time there's a comma, that means that there's a column being offered there. The computer's going to go through and break this down into columns. So it's going to end up reading it just like you would in Excel, like this, okay? So once you have that file with your name and your address and so forth, then you want to go ahead and head over to ArcGIS.com. And so you can just go to that in your web browser, and you're going to want to come into ArcGIS.com and either sign in with your personal account or sign in with your organization's URL. If you don't have an account and you say I need to create an account, what I suggest doing is making an account, but skip this free trial thing at the top here. You need to scroll down, and then you need to choose here on this create a public account. This is going to be able to let you create a free account for you to learn and so forth, okay? If you do the trial, it's going to give you like a 21-day trial. So this is where you're going to want to hang out, or you're going to want to look at your organization's URL to get the full features. But with the public account, and that's what I have here with my public account, is going to give you ability to geocode up to 250 addresses. And so with your organization account, you'll be able to do more than that. But with just your public account, you'll be able to do 250. Okay, let me try this again. ArcGIS.com and sign in. Okay, so once I'm inside, you'll get this dashboard here for ArcGIS.com, and they have some stuff here for learning and stuff like that. But what you're interested in here is this one, the map. When you click on map, that's going to give you kind of like an online GIS platform, and that's what you're seeing here with this base map. And what you're going to want to do is add data. And when I go to the add data button here, and I can choose add a layer from file, you'll see here the different options it's giving you. Shapefile, that's already georeferenced or geocoded. What you're going to want is this CSV or text file. You see, and this is going to tell you that it can have addresses or coordinate locations, but it's going to want to be comma delimited. Okay, so that's why the CSV file is so important. So whenever I choose the file and actually head over to that file that I have on the HBCUs as a CSV and open it, when I hit import, I'm going to get this little wizard pop up, and it's going to ask me what am I looking at, coordinates, addresses. I choose addresses. There's a few different locators you can look at. You know, there's the United States, but if you are working globally, you can always choose world or choose any of the types of countries that you might be working in. Okay, now you can see here it's going to ask you for this, the name, the cells that are being used, the fields that are being used, and for locations only. So name, general information, website, these aren't location fields. So my only location field was address here. And if you look here on the drop down, you can have your address as either a full address the way I had it, or you have it as address, city, county, and different columns as well. If you're looking for a very good good geocode, like you've seen you're having some mistakes, you can always go through and actually break up that address to street, city, state, and so forth, and zip code, and that will make it work a little bit better. But we're just going to go with address or place, and then if I go ahead and add layer, this is going to hit up the geolocator now, and it's going to go and quickly actually go ahead and map that out. And I'm already seeing some kind of symbolization options here that are showing up. I can see here it's 4-year private, 4-year publics, 2-year private, 2-year public. So you can kind of see pretty heterogeneous mix up there. Some things I like doing online is to go and check out the options here. Wait, not options here. If I go back, so let's hit done here, and then I go to the symbology again. Oh yeah, and I changed this over to show location only. I get this kind of cool option here for heat map. I think this is really nice whenever you click on it. There's some options here about the radius, you know, like you can change the radius or so forth. But what's interesting about the historically black colleges and universities in the United States, if you look at them, they're very concentrated into the southeast, kind of going up here on the eastern seacoast, but mostly in the southeast. So it's kind of a southern phenomenon, the HBCUs. So anyways, this is a really nice map. I can always go through and print it just as is. Okay, so if I hit print, I can do a print a map with legend, and that's going to give me kind of a nice kind of little map here that I can export out. If I want to go a step further and actually start using it in GIS, I can save this, and there's 2 ways I can save this. One is I can save the actual map itself. So if I go here to save, it's going to give me some options. So I can say here HBCUs. Okay, you're going to add a tag here. I always just add GIS or something. Okay, and then I save the map. That actually saves the map to my content. Another way that you can save this is actually save the layer itself. If I go here to HBCUs, click here, and I can say here, save layer. That's going to let me actually save the layer itself. I can see these, oh, sorry, I've already did this right here. I'll put HBCU2, create item. I can always see this in my content. So if I go over into, back over to my ArcGIS home, you can see here, back here we had a content option here. So when I click on content, you can see the stuff that I've been making. So I have here a feature layer, or I have here a web map. If I click on the web map, for example, I have an option here to say open in ArcGIS Pro. That's one way I can get it into my GIS platform. Another way is if I look here at the feature layer, I also have an option here for open ArcGIS Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and open the feature layer for fun, ArcGIS Pro. So when I click on that, it's going to open up the P item. And then whenever I click on that, I'll see ArcGIS Pro launches up. This is, of course, if you have ArcGIS Pro installed on your computer. I'm wondering if it's going to prompt me for a login. I do have it set to only owner share level, but I guess it's smart enough in the P item. No, so this is the problem here. You can see the problem I'm having is that the share level. So if I click edit and I change it to everyone has access, save, and go ahead and open in ArcGIS Pro, you're going to see now it's actually going to open up. The other way I could have got around this is actually signing into my ArcGIS Pro. If you see, it's not signed in right now, but if I signed in with my account, it'd be able to open. So here we go. Now we're in ArcGIS Pro, and we were able to geocode this this Excel spreadsheet. Also, keep in mind, both in ArcGIS Pro and back over here in ArcMap, if I go here and I go ahead and open this in the viewer, you're going to have here the option for your attribute table. You can see here the 102 HBCUs. That same information that came from that Excel spreadsheet is hanging out down here. Also, if you were to click on any one of them, you would get that information showing up over here as well. So you'd actually be able to get that information. You could probably write some code here to actually make this turn into a little bit more interactive, but this even still opens up pretty nicely. This same kind of information is also available in your ArcGIS Pro. Whenever you go here and open up the attribute table, you'll see here that the attribute table is going to have the same information in it as well. If I click on one of the boxes as well, it will bring up the different information. Here's a little bit smarter. It's actually giving you the link to open it up directly. So basically that's how you would go through and geocode. So again, in this video what we did was we used Excel. We created a Excel spreadsheet file, making sure that we had this top line be the name of each of the columns. You can see that this top line associated well over here. You see, name, address, is the top line. We started with that second line beginning our data set, and each one line being a independent independent point within our data set. Then we use this address here to geocode it through ArcGIS.com. Okay, again, whenever you added the data, that's where this came from. Add layers from file, and we chose that CSV. And whenever that came in, it asked the geolocator where it's at. We didn't have any errors, so you can see that we got all 102 geocoded. You might want to check, make sure that you got all 102. Remember, this is 103 because the first line was our column name or whatever. If you are having problems, not able to geocode, what I was just doing is going here and saying here street, then comma, and then city, comma state, comma zip. Oh, and then it's not a comma, it's a space after that. Okay, well, let's do this one first. So if I click here, there is an option. So I'm going to put this into 3. So let's take these and paste them over here. Okay, go ahead and delete the pro over here. And if you take this B, there's this nice text to column feature. I think it's under data. Yes, text to column, where it's actually going to let me go through and say that it's delimited by a comma. You see how it breaks it up? So I'm doing these 3 first. Okay, so finish. That pops it up here. So, oh, well, I guess I do have a problem here with this Southwest Atlanta. That's not good. So let's paste this over here. Okay. Control V. Okay. Let's see if any other mistakes happened. Here's a mistake, Virginia. Something happened here with Hampton, Virginia. This is probably something that we can do like this. Control C. I bet you the address is just Hampton University. Then let's see here what else we got going on. Here, Selma. This kind of messed up here. Oh, because it's going to have the address to line. So here, this is what we call data validation. Anyways, I think I got all the mistakes here. Now I want to take this one also text to column and change it over to zip. So I'm going to put space zip here. And this time I'm going to delineate by space, but you see here how South Carolina is going to get messed up because it has that space between the name of the states. So there's a few places where that's going to mess up. So what I want to do is make sure I have another column here because that's going to mess up, and then that way I can fix it quickly. So I'm going to say text to column. Let's go ahead and say delimited with a space. So you see how that's breaking that down. Okay, so oh, and there's a space in front of Alabama as well. So I'm going to have to actually insert one more there. Okay, let's go ahead and do that text to column. So sometimes this can be a little tricky, but you have to clean up the data in order to get the best results. So so I hit finish here. Yeah. Okay, so I got rid of my general on accident, so I need to actually add a whole other column. So you can see that last column is kind of causing some problems because there's no comma there. That's the big problem on that one. So let's go ahead and do this text column again, and space and finish. Okay, so you can see how this got kind of messed up. So let's go ahead and move that over. Now column D, make sure it's empty. It looks pretty empty to me, so I'm going to delete that. Then I'm going to go over here and see the different zip codes. So here's South Carolina got messed up. And so what I want to do is make sure that I go here and put full South Carolina. Okay, and then I could probably just go through here and quickly look at any South Carolinas. Oh wait, why did that happen now? Let's see, Control C. Okay, South Carolina. Here's a North Carolina. So it's the Carolinas that are cause a problem in the South. Let's see here. Where else we got? South Carolina again. Okay, and here we had a problem with probably that's that same issue that happened earlier. So let's go ahead and just Control C that, V over that, paste it over that, so we can just say like that. And then we want this to go over here. Okay, North Carolina. Now I'm just pushing space because since it already has it, it's going to figure it out. Any other ones? Here's another North Carolina. Good. Here's North Carolina. Oh, here's Washington, D.C. So here I'm going to just say D.C. and then I'm going to go and delete these two. Bring that zip code over here. Okay, is that all of them? No, there's still some more. North Carolina has quite a bit. So let's keep going. So South Carolina. Good. Virgin Islands. That's interesting. So let's go ahead and take this Virgin Island. It's the U.S. Virgin Islands. And here's another D.C. Okay, South Carolina. And we got here West Virginia. Okay, now I have to go through and take the zip codes. So this is just Control X, Control V, just to paste over. It also gives me a chance to double check the Carolinas. You can see here I missed one. This one was South. Oh man, so I messed up on that one. So this has to be South Carolina. I believe so. It could be South Virginia. Oh no, there's no South Virginia. It's just Virginia, so that's good. Okay, North Carolina. Okay, keep going. These two, we'll do them at the same time. Okay, here's what I missed. Here's a West Virginia. I missed, and then these two. Good to go. Almost getting there. Okay, so got them all. Now, F and G, we don't need them anymore. Let's go and delete those. And just cut them. Oh. Actually, I want you to delete. Let's see, won't let me delete. There we go. Okay, good. So now we have a broken up street, city, state, zip. This will actually be more a better geocode if you're having some problems. So let's go ahead and save this to the PC, and I'm going to call this HBCU2 and save it. Now when I go back over to ArcGIS.com, I'm going to go ahead and add data. Well, I'm going to go ahead and remove these. And go ahead and add from my file. I'm going to choose again that HBCU2 import layer, and then you'll see now location fields much different. See address, then we have city, state, zip, you see? So we're having all this information being not added in. Now when I go ahead and add that, I'm going to get that same geocoding situation happening. I can go here and check out. You can see now I have all this information broken up into pieces. Whenever I go and look at the attribute table itself, you can see I have 102. If there's a mistake, it will let you know, or sometimes it will be less number there, and that's when you're going to want to go back and look at it. And then you can do the same thing again. Go either save it as a map, save it as a layer over here, okay, and then that again sends that over to your contents, and then from that content you can go ahead and open it up. Anyways, thanks for watching.